Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's weekly gospel. This week, well, hold on. I think I need to just make a little disclaimer here and refocus the show away from what it's been kind of focusing on recently. Or not focusing on, just recently it's slipped into a little bit of all of a sudden like I'm being a pastor and you guys are being a congregation and I'm trying to teach you guys something. And that is not the purpose of the show, because if I try and make it like that, then it is, at least for me, it is going to go downhill, and it's not going to work, and it's not going to be what I wanted it to be, and it's not going to be able to serve in ways that it was intended. So basically, it's not supposed to be me preaching to you and me like opening up the word and saying like, oh, here, look at it. It's supposed to be me saying, hey, look, I knew this and I knew this and I made the connection this week, and that is what happened. It's not meant to be a sermon. It's meant to be like, hey, this is something I connected. Maybe you can benefit from it, maybe you can't. Anyways, on that note, I was at Delta this past week, so let's go 2K17 now. So on Sunday night, we were reading Malachi. I don't know where in Malachi, I don't know what verse, but I'm pretty sure it's not that long of a book, so figure it out on your own, kids. And I learned this, so I think this happens in a lot of places in the Bible too. They're talking about sacrifice, they're talking about what are you doing, and every other time I've read these kind of things, I think like, hey, where am I not sacrificing? And that's even the question when you hear sermons that go, what areas of your life are you not sacrificing? And I think like, okay, I'm not really sacrificing here, I'm not really sacrificing here. Oh my gosh, am I really giving this to God? And I think that's a super important thing to look at. But I also realized that it can be taken another way, and like the verse we were reading, not only what areas are you not sacrificing, but what areas are you sacrificing and you're not doing it good enough. You're not making a sacrifice that's worthy of the God you're sacrificing for. Maybe you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. Like that's a sacrifice, right? That's enough. But is it really enough? Is it really the sacrifice in that area of your life that a holy, eternal God deserves, who created you, who gave you your life, who still sustains you? Is that what your God deserves? Just that little thing that you're doing in that area? Or does he deserve more in that area? And that's your weekly gospel, honestly. That's something I picked up, and I think that's something that can really be applied to take a step back and look at, hey, these areas, yes, I know these areas need sacrifice. That should be changing. That needs to change. But also these areas where I'm sacrificing, am I even sacrificing enough? Am I really doing this wholeheartedly, or am I just trying to get away with it? And, hey, I tithe. I'm tithing 10%. Like, hey, is this 10% really worth the God you're serving? Are you just, you're like, hey, I made $1. I'm going to give God 10 cents. Like, really? 10 cents? Now, if you're an adult, you're probably making more than $1, so, give you that. But, that's just an example. There are more realistic and real-life examples that I think could be applied to this. So, anyways, that's just a principle applying. Look forward to next week's weekly gospel, because it's going to be absolutely lit. Hope you enjoyed this week's weekly gospel. If you did enjoy it, please do like it. If you don't, dislike it. Don't forget to share your opinion in the comment section down below, including an epiphany you might have had yourself this week. And I will see you next week for the weekly gospel. Bye, bye, bye.